What's up, everybody? For those of you who are coming back to watch this over again, I'm Jacob with Very Good Knife Company, and today we've got some handles to do. It's a Saturday, and I'm not going to try and get too dang ahead of myself and just go too crazy. So I've got 8 of them for the Georgia Bushcraft run sitting there ready to get finished. Handles are set up, and all we got to do is cut Corby screws off and get after them. So that's what we're going to do. Gonna get a little noisy for a few minutes, but figured I'd do this and let everybody file in. This won't take just a few minutes. There we go. Let's go to the grinder and get them finished now. Let's do it. So all we were doing was cutting the Corby screw heads off. That way they don't overheat when we go to grind them flush. So here we go. Turn it back. right, let's switch grinder. good, good. 220. Really? There we go. 220. So long, very good knife screens. Huh? They just died. All right, 220. I go to this machine. See all that? Scratch is going this way. I want it to look like this. See? There we go. Switch to a 220. What's up, everybody? Just changing belts. We'll get right back at it. There we go. Going up underneath. There we go. All right, let's go right there to the router. Come along. Into the mess. Here we go. Look at any problem I have not faced yet. Check that out. All right. Go back to the grinders. Grit. There we go. Hit him with the Scotch-Brite now. Same thing. Final finish. $400 here. Scotch-Brite. There we go. Switch over here. Hit them with the Scotch-Brite on the bevel. Then we'll be done. stuff off of me. All right, so that didn't go the way I was hoping, but we did get some done. The Adventure Juniors. That one got double green, red, vintage linen. And then we got some Mantis. This one's got some Python micarta from Macecraft. Pretty cool stuff. More linen, vintage linen. What's up, D Minton? Got burgundy. And then this is what didn't go right. So I'll just show you. Check that out. Big gouge out of the spine for this guy. So that one's ruined. Every now and then. That's pretty, well, that's unsettling and pisses me off. I'll have to figure out what to do with it, but I guess this one's mine because I definitely won't send it out like that. I'll have to play with it a little. The issue that I was having was this was too narrow because these are so thin and so small. This was too narrow for the router bit that I was using, which is already wrong. This will be the last stuff I do with that router bit because the radius is wrong. Even though it's a 3/16, it's a $65 bit too from Bosch. But that was all I was able to get a hold of at the time. It's a good router bit. It's good and strong. It's been cutting a long time, but the measurements of it and the radius, it's not right. So, oh well. It'll buff. I'll figure it out. It's just going to take some removing of material, which is going to take that spine, that grind past the spine, which means it's going to not be quite as strong. Which, you know, these were not made to be hard use knives at all. These were 100% meant to resemble like an opened pocket knife. And that's exactly what they look like and feel like. And that's about the weight. They're very, very nice. This one, there's nothing wrong with this one. Just the radius isn't right. You can see it's still squared off right there. I'll play with this and get it right, but the other one, I'll have to, yeah. This one was going to do this, and I changed the depth of the router bit just to get it to not do this and ruin two of them. So this one bit in all the way around. You can hardly see it, but it cut in too deep all the way around on this one side. I mean, it cut a shelf. You can't really see it on the camera there. And then on the other side, when the router bit went past the stop, it put a big old gouge in there. Whatever. We'll figure it out. It's not that big of a deal. Again, these were not really, well, I just kind of wanted to get some done so I could have some pictures of some and start showing you guys what they look like before I do a run of them. Because I do have 8 more over there in 80 or 80 in Nitro V. These two are in Nitro V, and then I have some AEBL to do some of these in as well. It's just going to take a little bit of figuring because these are thinner and smaller than everything else that I'm doing, and then that changes the machining aspects. So whatever, we'll be all right. But that is all I've got planned for today. I'm going to go back right here right quick and fix a couple of these. I'll show you what I'm talking about. That router bit being off and weird not only does stupid things like those little pocket docks, but see it did it. Well, can you see it right there? It gouged this guy a little bit on this side and this side. And I didn't notice that until I was just doing the other sides. That's not a big deal because all I got to do is hit that with the small wheel here in just a second. Yeah, it'll be all right. I'm not too worried about it. But it is frustrating because now I have to I have to figure something else out when I go to do that run of those because that's not going to work. I can't have them all looking like that. this one did it too. And very microscopically. I almost got it all out, but I'm not gonna have that. I think it's just, let's see, this one, no. I think it's just those two. All right, let's do those two right quick then. Fine. You'll pain in the butt. I'm gonna drop back to a 220 so as not to get it too warm. We'll do 220 and then 400. All right, so again, you can see, here it is, the gouge. It kind of looks, well, it looks just like this one. Used to look just like that one. There it is, gone. Gone, nice and clean now. This one's not quite as mud. There we go. That one didn't take much at all. Swap that belt. Put another 400 on. All gone now. Now it's resolved. All the other ones look fine too. It's just those. All right, one more time through the Scotch-Brite. You guys aren't even seeing me. What's up, Zach? How's it going, bud? Beautiful now. There we go. She's all cleaned up now. Yeah, I'm screwing up some handles today, Zach. Just some Adventure Juniors and Mantis. I didn't want to be here all day. In fact, I'm going to take off here in just a minute because I want to try and go hunting again this evening. I went this morning. Sound like a war zone because we live next to a WMA and they're having a hunt this weekend. So I did see a buck and a couple of does this morning, but no shooters. Dang, this is irking me so bad. I can't believe that happened. Let's try to let's see if we can get it out, clean it up. I'm not going to be able to get that spine, the gouge out of the back spine without going way down. But I may be able to clean up everything else pretty easily. Check that out. This is a rare sight. Gotta peel the belts apart. There we go. That's how today's been going. This is why I don't work on Saturdays, but I have to get at least a little bit done today. This tends to be my Saturdays. I got that bottom side cleaned up. It did take a good bit off, but it's not terrible. It's out of spec for sure. It's not like measurement wise where it's supposed to be, but maybe at least be good for pictures if I can get it done. I don't know. Might look weird with that spine not right. Good now. Now we just gotta follow it around. See that step? It's hard to see. Yeah, it'll buff out. All right. Take this 220. And see if we can't get this thing fixed up. I've gone way down already, and it's still there. I got it out right there. Not terrible looking. Should be okay. Let's finish it off and I'll show you. It is definitely out of spec though. It is 220. We need a 400. good looking little spade blade. The other one I'll have to do some hand work to. In order to get that handle just the way I want it. But this one radius is fine, it's just like a little uneven. I mean, you can't really tell. But like the line on one side is a little thicker because when it did that overbite, I mean, it did cut a little deeper. So then when I evened it up and leveled it off, it looks even, but it's not quite even. All right, there she is. Not so bad. It's just a little lower cut on the top, on the spine. It's not that big of a deal. Pretty sweet looking little blade. I need to get some oil on it so we can see. Oh, I've got to chamfer that lanyard hole. I've got to do that on both of them. Just do it on one for now. All right, that'll be the last step for this dude. I'm gonna put some oil on it. I don't know how I missed that earlier, but I did. Brain is out of order today. There we go. Chamfered. Hit it on the Scotch Brite, make it a little bit more smooth. And that'll be the end of this one. Well, if I'd have never told you, you'd have never known. Looks good. Let's see what they look like with some color on them. I need to go grab the card. I only have this one. Now, these things are the epitome of slicey. They're probably going to be the sliciest knives that you're going to be able to get from Very Good Knife Company. Because these guys are 3/32 stock. They are the only thing that uses that stock from me, which is really thin stock. And then they are ground full flat down to about 9/1000ths at the edge right there. So then we're going to be looking at about 10/1000ths behind the edge once they are edged. The edge is going to be microscopic and tiny. It's going to be really tiny. But it's It's going to be a banger, I think. This thing is so small, yet I'm still able to get all 4 fingers on there. Even my little busted pinky. And it is only about 6.5 inches long. Where did my ruler go? Oh, there is one sitting right in front of me. 6.5 exactly. 6.5 exactly. And the edge on this is 3 inches. There's 3 inches worth of cutting edge here. The blade length is about 2 3/4. It's a little more than 2. Well, you guys can't see that. Blade length is a little more than 2 3/4 from the edge right there. It's just a little more than 2 3/4, but by edge, you can see there it's a little over 3. So that's a good blade to be only 6 inches long, and it probably only weighs a couple ounces. Let's weigh it. I'm very, very curious because this thing is absolutely nothing. It weighs nothing at all. Let's see. $57.7 grams. And 2.03 ounces. 2.03 ounces. So 2 ounces. This knife weighs 2 ounces. That's really cool. 2 ounces. How's that for lightweight? I bet with the sheath and an ulti-clip, the whole package is still going to be under probably 4 ounces. That's a pocket knife to me. All right, let me put the rest of these on the towel, and we'll take a look at the rest of what I got. So far I've got 7 knives made this week for Georgia Bushcraft. That's not all the knives that I did this week, because I did 8 other orders this week, as well as I didn't even count how many blades were here. But the other 7 that I did earlier this week are all Gen 3 and Cerakote, so they took up a lot of time. Now that's cool. That Python micarta from Macecraft is really cool. This one's going to be going quick. This Burlap Adventure Junior and Nitro V. This one's may as well just be marked sold as soon as I put it on table, because it'll be one of the first ones to go, I think, anyway. Burlap Adventure Junior and Nitro V. This thing is super sweet. Here's another one that I think might go fast. I have a bunch of this 3/16 double green micarta. I just got a big sheet of it in. Double green Adventure Junior Nitro V. And then we've got a red one. This has been a pretty popular color for the juniors, not so much the full-size adventures. It is more popular than some of the other colors, but red has been pretty popular for the adventure juniors for whatever reason. Pretty sweet. Will do, brother. And then I got one more Adventure Junior Nitro V here, and this one has got some special stuff on it. It is a vintage linen micarta. It's got a butterscotch color to it. This is really, really, really nice stuff. It's got a dark layer on the outside and the inside. So even though I'll scrub some of that away on the outside, you can see just a little. I did leave quite a good bit of the darkness still there. on the inside, it gives it like a false liner look because of that layering and the darkening. It looks really, really good. Here is that Macecraft Python micarta mantis. Now, I have some Python micarta, but it has burgundy in it. And this one looks like it has just brown in it. But it is really cool looking. It's got some nice pattern to it. I like it. That's a mantis in Nitro V. And then I've got a mantis in some of that vintage linen again. This is a different sheet. It's a little thinner. But it does have a slightly different look to it. The darkened layers on the outside and the inside are thicker. So this one has a thicker fade to it. It's like a sunburst, butterscotch sunburst fade. It's pretty neat. And that's what this one has on that pocket dock that we just fixed up. It has the vintage linen that out of that same sheet as that mantis. You see the thicker fade on this sheet as opposed to this sheet. They are just microscopically different color, but they are indeed both vintage linen. This is that Adventure Junior. And then I got a mantis Nitro V in burgundy. These have been a popular color for the mantis, the burgundy. Pretty good looking. It's very dark. Of course, they're slick with oil right now. They don't usually have that sheen to them. That's just because there's oil on them. Once they dry up a little, then they'll start looking a little bit less shiny. Right there's your normal look. Pretty good looking. Not popular at all. Yeah, it's not. It's on the chopping block for discontinuation, honestly. Because well, sometimes I have people come through that want mantis, and sometimes I make mantis and then sit on them for 4 or 5 months. So I don't know what it is. A lot of the Wharncliffe sheep's foot, things of that nature don't have the best appeal, I guess I could say. Like the hawk, the eagle, the sack style, Wharncliffe, sheep's foot, all those, I have a hard time selling them sometimes. The best selling one that I've had ever was well, it's kind of a reverse Tanto, but the Lone Star was definitely the king of the Wharncliffe, or it's not even a Wharncliffe at all. It's more like a sheep's foot reverse Tanto. But the sheep's foot blade of the mantis, I think, is a fantastic knife. It's a great working knife. Everyone that has them loves them, but nobody ever comes to me asking for mantis, ever. I mean, ever, really. But anyway, that's the new one, the pocket dock. I think is really cool. This one does have a lanyard hull. That way you could put a bead on it because it is such a small and short handle. But again, with my fingers like crunched tight together, they're like even loosened up. Like I'm still on that handle. But with a bead, it would be even better if you were to drop back on it. It's pretty sweet. Pretty nice looking. All right, guys. It's a little after 4, and I was hoping to be home around 4. So I can go do some hunting today. I got to be back here tomorrow anyway, and then I will be here very heavily for the next week until Thursday or so. Because next week is Georgia Bushcraft. So I've got just a little bit of time left to finish up, which I don't need a whole lot of time left, but I got 5 Ramblers here, and then there's 3 more Adventures. There's another Heritage. I've got some other newer stuff, material-wise, like this line camo, linen line camo. And then I've got an orange and black camo, or not orange and black, layered micarta. And then we've got some walkabouts, tributes. Anyway, that's what I'll be working on. You guys will see it all live. I'll go live as I get it all this stage that we just did. So I appreciate all your support, guys, and thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one.